the shadow self, embracing the hidden parts of your personality through Carl Jung's teachings. In a quiet village nestled at the foot of the mountains, there lived a man named Elias. He was well respected by his neighbors, kind, hardworking, and always there to lend a hand. But beneath his calm and friendly exterior, Elias often felt a strange darkness within himself. There were moments when anger flared for no reason, or envy gnawed at him, though he never spoke of it. These feelings confused him, so he buried them deep inside, pretending they didn't exist. One day, an old traveler passed through the village and stopped to rest. The traveler was known for his wisdom, and villagers would often come to him with their troubles. When Elias met him, something compelled him to share his inner struggles, the anger and fear he couldn't explain. The old man listened patiently. "You speak of your shadow," he said. Elias frowned, not understanding. "Shadow?" "Yes," the old man nodded. "The parts of yourself you deny, hide, or fear that is your shadow. We all have one. The more you push it away, the more it grows in strength. The anger you bury today becomes the rage that blinds you tomorrow." Elias was puzzled. "But why would I want to look at this darkness? It's ugly. It's not who I am." The traveler smiled gently. "That's where you're wrong. The shadow is part of you, just as much as the light. To be whole, you must embrace it." He went on to tell Elias a story from ancient times. There was once a great warrior who feared no man, but had one enemy. He could never defeat his own shadow. He tried to outrun it, fight it, and ignore it. But the more he resisted, the more his shadow controlled him. One day, after years of struggle, he sat quietly with it. He did not run or fight. He listened, and in that silence, he realized the shadow was not his enemy, but his teacher. The words struck Elias deeply. For years, he had denied the parts of himself that he considered flawed or wrong. He wanted to be good, to be seen as a perfect man, but in doing so, he had denied his true self. The rage, the envy, the fear, they were part of him too, waiting to be understood. Over the next weeks, Elias took the old man's advice to heart. Instead of pushing his dark emotions away, he began to reflect on them. When he felt anger rise, he didn't suppress it. He sat with it, asking himself why it was there. Sometimes it was fear in disguise. Other times, it was a sign of something he had long ignored, something he needed to change. He realized that the shadow wasn't evil. It was simply the part of himself he hadn't yet faced. As he became more honest with himself, he found a sense of peace he had never known before. The more he embraced his shadow, the less it controlled him. In time, he understood that to truly know himself, he had to accept both the light and the dark within. Commentary. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow is one of the most powerful tools for understanding the human psyche. The shadow represents the aspects of ourselves that we repress, ignore, or deny our fears, weaknesses, and darker impulses. It is part of our unconscious mind, and while we may try to bury it, it never truly goes away. Jung believed that by confronting and integrating the shadow, we could achieve a more complete sense of self. The shadow is not something to be feared or banished, but to be understood and embraced. Only by acknowledging these hidden parts of ourselves can we transform them, preventing them from controlling us in destructive ways. In the story of Elias, the main character's journey reflects this idea. By avoiding his shadow, Elias only allowed it to grow stronger. But when he began to face it with honesty and compassion, he discovered it was a part of him that held valuable insights. Jung's teachings remind us that wholeness comes from embracing both our light and dark sides, leading to a richer, more authentic experience of life. The shadow may contain qualities we consider negative, but it also holds immense potential. Courage, strength, and creativity often lie dormant within it, waiting to be acknowledged. By integrating the shadow, we become more aware of ourselves and gain the freedom to act from a place of true understanding rather than unconscious reactivity. As Jung said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious.